Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I'm Ilham Najis, and in this video, I'd like to talk to you about Pidgin and Creole. Okay, let's talk about the definition first. The definition of Pidgin, according to Merriam-Webster, is a simplified speech used for communication between people with different languages. If observed etymologically, this word, the English term of pidgin, is most likely taken from the business noun, which means trade. And at first, this word is an important variety as an assistive language in a language contact. Because of Chinese substratum, this word is likely to be as follows: comes from business pronounced by English language, which develops in the Chinese nation, or probably from Hebrew language, from the word pidgin, which means trade or exchange. It is also possible that the word pidgin comes from the combination of two Chinese letters, namely pei and xin, which means to pay with money. Okay, and according to the experts, were Dog and Holmes. I'm sorry if I'm wrong in mentioning the names. Okay, according to the word Dog and Holmes, define Pidgin as a language that has no native speakers. Okay, Bordeaux adds that Pidgin is sometimes regarded as a variation that reduces the normal language by simplifying grammar and vocabulary, phonological variation, and mixing local language. Therefore, Pidginization includes simplification of language, such as the reduction of morphological system as word structure and syntax as grammatical structure, the reduction of the number of language, and the extension of borrowing words from local language. And that is not different from both experts. It was expressed by Fasold that Pidgin is a simplification of pronunciation and certain aspects of grammar. So, from the definition above, we can conclude that two kinds of definition of pidgins. From the first is pidgin is a language which has no native speakers, and the second is pidgin is a variation of language that has simplification of language and includes the usual aspect of grammar. Okay, that is the definition of pidgin. Okay, this part is about the history of pidgin. Okay, the source is still from Merriam-Webster, that the history of pidgin itself. The history of pidgin begins in the early 19th century in the South China city of Guangzhou. Chinese merchants interacting with English speakers on the docks in this port adopted and modified the word business in a way that by centuries and had become pidgin. The word itself then became the descriptor of the unique communication used by people who speak different languages. Pidgins generally consist of small vocabularies, Chinese group native language. Okay, and anyway, Chinese Pidgin English has only 700 words, but some have grown to become a group's native language. For examples, include Sea Island Creole, spoken in South Carolina Sea Islands, Haitian Creole, and Louisiana Creole. Okay, so that is the short history of Pidgin. Okay, and another history about the Pidgin is comes from slavery times America, when people from Africa and another country gathering in a certain place, and in the process of slavery times, they need to communicate each other, and they reuse English language with another language, and they combine it, and it became the Pidgin language. Okay, here I want to give you two Pidgin examples. It comes from Melanesian Pidgin English, and the number one is, "You not like soup? He plenty good kai kai. What man you give him stick?" Okay, probably you just read it and it can be understandable for you, but it is still not correctly in terms of the rules English sentence. And the correct sentence of English is be like, "Don't you like soup? It's very good." And, "To whom you give the stick?" Okay, so that is the correct sentence. Yeah, and now you more understand about the meaning. Okay, anyway, you you found the word of kai kai. Kai kai is comes from Polynesian sources, means food. Kai kai means food. Okay, so that is the examples of Pidgin. Okay, one examples from Indonesia Pidgin examples. So I will show you how Indonesian Pidgin examples. Okay, and I took these examples from Creole media from the internet. Thank you for compasiana. Okay, I will show you. Nama kamu siapa? Nama kamu siapa? Saya bertanya, nama kamu siapa? Oh, siapa kamu punya nama? Ilham namaku. Oh, Ilham ya. Oke. Terima kasih. Okay, so let's talk about the Creole. Okay, the definition of Creole can be defined as the pidgin that has become the first language of a new generation of speakers. As Egyptian says that Creole arise when pidgin become mother tongues. Holmes says that Creole is a pidgin which has expanded in structure and vocabulary to express the range of meanings and serve the range of functions required as the first language. So, above all, we can conclude that Creole is a language from Pidgin and become has native speaker and become the parent language. So this is the difference between the Pidgin and Creole. Okay, so what's the difference? Uh, let's take the number one is Pidgin has no native speaker. Meanwhile, Creole has native speaker. Okay, and the second is Pidgin take a quick time enrich the language because they need as a communication such as trade or business or etc. And, and the third characteristic of pidgins is they compromise two or more languages. Okay, and for Creole itself, after has the native speaker, and the second is become the children's language or the parent language. It means that when a group of people in a certain place, uh, after they make the pidgin language to communicate each other, to trade, and they are growing up in that place, in that environment, and they have a children, they have children, sorry. So the children learn that language, the parent language, that is called by Creole language. Okay, and as we know that it is not only Pidgin that has no simple relationship, but also Creole itself with varieties of language. Some of Creole based on different standard English such as Jamaican Creole, and from French such as Haitian Creole, and from Spanish such as Quebecano. And the result is that many millions of people who speak almost nothing but Creole language. The estimates range low from 6 until 7 millions of people to as many as 10 until 17 people, with they are likely feel to great sense of inferiority with their language. Okay. In addition, morphology, syntax, and phonology are involved by creolization by its expansion. However, the process are different whether it is about Pidgin or Creole in a clear situation. And the terms of Hawaiian Pidgin English and Hawaiian Creole English used by the same Creolists in order to describe the same variety, and according to Hall provides a usable survey of Pidgin and Creole, and Smith lists until 351 Pidgins and Creoles, along with 158 assorted mixed languages. Okay. Okay. So this part of video is about the examples of Creole. This is a few examples from many Creole examples in the world. I took two numbers of Creole. Where number one is E pas difficile. It is. It comes from French Cycles Creole, which means it is not too difficult from English Standard. So that is the translation. Okay. So E pas difficile. It is the example of using pas from French Cycles Creole. Okay. And the number two is a de go work. A de go work. It means from standard English is I am going to work in Creole. So that is the examples of using pa from English, French, and Portuguese Creole. Okay, so that is a few examples from Creole. Okay. Okay, that's all from me. That's all a little bit explanation of Pidgin and Creole for me. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.